Hi, everyone. Welcome to Aftermath, RealmSmith's new show where the cast gets to sit down and discuss the aftermath of their choices. I'm your host, Hilary Z, and tonight we have our beloved DM, Jason Azevedo. Also joining us are Adam Mainse, Noura, Ibrahim, and Dave Morin. Welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hello.
Doing all right.
Doing good. We're alive still. That's great.
Yay! Always a good way to start the show.
Yes.
So a couple announcements before we get started. First off, I want to talk about GaryCon. Ethereal GaryCon 13 is live this weekend. And we are actually doing a game. So join us tomorrow night as we stream one of the featured games for GaryCon. It will be part 4 of the Cyberpunk Red series, starring our very own Jason Azevedo and Noura Ibrahim. Also starring Luke Gygax, Mr. Matthew Lillard, Beast, John Kovaleski, and it will be DM'd by Mike Pondsmith, the creator of the Cyberpunk game series. Very excited for that. Super excited that it's going to continue. Want to give a huge thanks to our sponsor for the series or the show, Forged Gaming. They make game boards, dice towers, all sorts of other quality game accessories to take your tabletop experience to the next level. Use code RealmSmith20, one word, at checkout to receive 20% off your entire order. Join us Monday nights live on YouTube at 7 p.m. Eastern. This Monday will be episode 3 of our 3rd season of Into the Mist. Lots of good things going on, double threes. I'm sure that'll be lucky. The party, newly named by the locals as the Dawnbringers, is resting in Mount Gacchus before beginning their trek north to the city of Kresk in search of the skull of the legendary silver dragon, Bargain Bust. If you want to interact with our live streams and help forge and craft the story of the Dawnbringers, check out our Patreon, where you can join and roleplay on our Discord server. It is a wonderful community with people role-playing nearly 24 hours a day. There's a section for LFGs where you can connect with people all over the world for gaming. And we've recently introduced a way to search for delightfully creepy Barovian trinkets, including something a little special. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that, Jay?
I sure do. So right now, if you for this season, we've released the ability to search in the outer lands of Barovia outside of settlements and find little trinkets for your in-game use, just for role-playing purposes. But hidden in all those trinkets, we've put an actual real-world item. If you find it in-game, we send you a book of incantations from Forged Gaming. And you also get a magical item that goes with that you can use on the Discord with your roleplay. So fun.
Super cool. Such a cool mechanic. I love it. I love that Forged Gaming is in on us with this. Alrighty, well, I think that's it for all the announcements and housekeeping and whatnot. So I think we can get into this.
Only thing, just the giveaway. Yeah, just the giveaway. I think they're ready with it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I don't have notes on a giveaway. Sorry.
I thought I sent it to you. Maybe not.
Sorry.
My bad. It's all good. We're doing a Forged giveaway tonight. It's a Citadel dice tower. The looks like that. It folds up real nice, holds all your dice. You fold it up and you put your dice in it. They roll out. They all 20s all the time. Ooh. Forged said so in their small print. Just kidding. But that is what we're giving away today. Code word for that in the chat is Forged. All one word. Enter it more than twice. Once. Enter it more than once. And you will be disqualified. That's all.
All right. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for that. So the way we're going to do this is if anybody watching live has any questions in our chat, go ahead and preface your question with the word question in all caps. And that way our moderators can take it from the chat, put it into a special little document that I can then easily survey. Very convenient. And of course, for any of the cast, Jason, all of you guys, if you ever have any questions for each other, please interrupt me, hop in. I'd love to know any questions you have for each other too.
I have a question already. Well, David, are you being eaten alive yet by mosquitoes being outside, or are you pretty okay?
A few did show up earlier.
Yeah.
But they didn't come back.
Okay.
So
there you go.
if they do, though, I'm ready to smite those little vampires.
I was just gonna say,
They are blood-sucking vampires.
They are. Are they?
Oh, that's good. That's good. Very good. Very, very good.
Undead mosquitoes should be giant. Undead mosquitoes should be a thing.
They should be.
That sounds terrible.
Just saying. Just putting that out there right now in the ether. Seeing what happens with it.
And if they bite you, you become a giant undead mosquito.
Oh, like fly vibes.
Yeah, like the fly. It takes a week to transform.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Too far, Adam. Too far.
Oh man.
Makes the fly look like Teletubbies.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to focus a little bit more on questions from the audience today. So I'm just
After that.
Yeah. On that positive note. While the queue is populating, I'm just going to ask a couple questions of my own. Alrighty, so where do we want to start tonight, guys? Who's first?
Ladies first.
Ladies first. All right, that's a good starting point. Miss Noura,
Oh boy.
you play Ezmerelda so wonderfully, and I love that you were able to make a player character for Tides, but I love your Ezmerelda so much. I want you to play her forever.
she's my favorite. Not gonna lie. There's a special place in my heart for her. Sorry, I'm gonna offend some people, I think, by saying that, but I do love her so much as a player character. It's fun.
You play her so well. It feels really, really natural. So
Thanks.
what I'm kind of wondering about, sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just saying thanks.
Oh, we got a big reveal last episode about Ezmerelda and Van Richten's backstories and how they're tied together and their strained relationship with the Vistani, some of the Vistani in the land. That was a powerful moment. So I've just been wondering, why does she hold herself so responsible for her parents' wrongdoings?
Well, first of all, I gotta say I've been sitting on her backstory for 3 seasons, so from the very beginning. So I was glad to finally I wanted to wait for the right moment, and I felt like that was it. I hope that was the right decision, but I felt right. So,
Well, slow played.
Thank you.
That was good. I was expecting 12 seasons, but 3 will do.
Oh, whatever. We can drag out some other details. It's fine.
Okay.
But I think for her, when I think about her character, I think she holds a lot of things on her shoulders, just naturally as a person. So I think to have witnessed, first, you're in Barovia, you're already you're everybody around you is suffering to some extent, but you have a big bad to blame things on, right? But then to see that your own family, somebody so close to you, is tied into something kind of hits different. And I think for her, as somebody, how I see her as holding so much weight on her shoulders, to see that, I think that she would definitely have not only a sense of responsibility, but as a sense of pride for her own people to kind of right some wrongs. And so that's why I thought that was important for her to feel so convicted, with that decision.
Is it hard for her to be around the Vistani and the Gakkus task?
No, I think for her, I think she does very much has a strong sense of pride for her community. But that being said, you have to take responsibility for things that have gone wrong. And if something that you or somebody that you are close to has done wrong, I feel like it is your responsibility to fix it and to own it and to be responsible and to do what you can to change it. And so I think that was her convictions, and I stand by that. Yeah.
well, we were honored that she wanted to become an honorary member of our clan, so that was really cool.
Yeah, that was fun. That was the very last. I was glad I got to be a part of that.
Yeah, we were. All right, switching to Mr. Adam. Mr. Adam Mainse. It occurred to me the other day that Dimitri's story started with a great rebellion, an attempt to stand up and fight for their freedom with, found allies. Now he finds himself in Barovia in the heart of another rebellion and another fight for freedom. How does he feel about these parallels? Does it make him feel more guilty about leaving his previous allies behind, or is it kind of helping?
Yeah, that's true, because he was came through the mist from a place of a thrown together crew of just trying to escape where they were, and so I think for him it's always been a constant balancing act between purpose and pessimism, where he's looking at his situation and it hasn't worked so far for me. I've been away from my actual home for however many long, and now I'm transported here for no reason. And but then also, as we learned in the last session, there seems to be some sort of almost calling on this character, where only he heard the voice, only he was asked to be the champion, and so it's kind of like a newfound drive, but then also has to weigh against what he's seen. Oh no, what he Jason already knows exactly what.
No, I'm just happy that was the point, so that's good.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Not here, go on.
Yeah, so he's so he has to weigh it between all of the kind of things that have gone awry in the past versus, well, now there's more to look forward to and more kind of hope in the distance, however far that is.
Yeah. Well, it's been really fun to see him kind of coming back to life. He was getting a little bit hopeless there for a little while, and now he's like, let's do this.
Yeah, and I think I definitely used every spell slot on Divine Smites for that last season, or that last episode. And then by the time I was out of spell slots, I'm like, I hope everyone can help now. Help more than I can.
Yeah, it's almost like finding the Revenant, Sir Godfrey, has kind of been a turning point for all of you. And I'd like to know, this is kind of a question for everybody, what was it like for you as a character and as a player to encounter a Revenant that has such a human story and then be traveling with him?
All right, I'm going to jump in since nobody's... As a player, I will just want to say how amazing Omega is. He just brings in just 100% every time. I played with him on other streams, and he never ceases to amaze. It was amazing to see him in his intensity and also cosplay, hands down. But it's very rare to find such a unique human touch to an NPC written in a story, and I think that he really, really brought that. You could not help but feel for that character and want to help and want to know more about his life. I think it was a brilliant combination of him as a player and just the character and the situation. It was just a beautiful combination of that. But I kind of got lost in the story the minute he went in to his kind of backstory. I was just taken aback by it.
Yeah, for me, it was really obviously there's a big connection between Muskoka and Sir Godfrey. there's parallels anyways, even though they're not exactly the same. There's a lot of parallels to kind of the hurt that they've gone through. I found it very interesting that I'd chosen to take kind of a safer approach as we went through and not attack these creatures, trying to avoid trouble. And I feel like it was kind of lucky that it kind of paid off in the end, that we could have gone in there and seen them and been like, we attack, you know. And it was like Muskoka's own fear and the pain of what he'd went through made him cautious, and that allowed the opportunity for them to relate, because we didn't get into a big battle. So it was really interesting to see that progression of events. And the sort of the love story that's there, and kind of the hurt and pain, and the super complex situation that he's in, I found just really intriguing, and very, very human, like something that I think people could really relate to. Like he's got this love that's in the other room that he has to fight, he has to defeat, but he doesn't want to. He's I don't know. It just really kind of resonated on a few levels, like the humanity that this 400-year-old dead creature has.
Yeah, it really highlighted for me how each individual in Barovia has their own personal hurt connected to Strahd in some way. Everybody has a different story to tell, and it's all, you know, heart-wrenching, but it's yeah, it just really highlighted for me how the individualistic moments made the whole scenario real for me.
And if you remember episode 1, the first thing I did when I saw undeads in the first room was I was gonna attack, and whether or not that was a good idea, I was thinking, well, oath of vengeance, undead, attack. But I didn't realize we were on the balconies, or we weren't in range for an attack. But then so like at the very outset, my kind of view of undead was still very much negative. But once we met Sir Godfrey, one of the first things he did was do that kind of which spell was it? Was it Bless, that gives you temporary HP?
8.
And like that was sort of my first interaction with him, and it was like, oh, okay, so maybe it's not as clear cut. And then the fact that he too is a paladin, and he's kind of been able to relate to me a little bit in talking, and I think it kind of opens the door a little bit for Dimitri.
Yeah, it's such an interesting relationship, because it's undead and a paladin, which you never think would work, but then they both have like vengeance and this like holy a motivation to what they do, and it's just such a cool relationship. I can't wait to see where it goes. Not you,
Yeah,
Jay. Oh, sorry, Noura.
No, I was just gonna say, no, I love the complexity of it.
Yeah, very complex.
Yeah, and speaking of unexpected, I learned something new, which is that my turn undead does nothing against them. So they all just kind of laughed at me. It's like, okay, I'll put that away. Oh man, my daughter started watching season 1 again. Sorry, I'm derailing this, but my daughter started watching season 1 again, and she was like, "Wow, that was really smart when you used the silence spell." And man, has it gone downhill. I just think about like how many spells I've used. Like, oh my gosh.
And then this season using silence just so you could sleep in.
It's good.
Yeah, and then Falfer, that's another story.
That was amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping I'd have you on last week, Dave, so I could ask you and Fel for some pointed questions together, because your guys' relationship is strained right now.
Yeah, yeah. And even though I like to pretend that Muskoka's like kind of innocent, he's getting picked on. The second season, beginning of the second season, when Muskoka joined the party, I gave Falfer such a hard time. At least for like a couple episodes, it's just like nobody knows what you're saying. Like just he'd come out with this big monologue and like I don't know I don't know what you're saying, and just erase like every bit he just RP'd was just gone. So I kind of deserve it a little bit at this point. I actually did a poll on my Instagram of like, sorry, Jay, what are we?
You deserve it, a lot of it, not just a little bit, a lot of it. But anyways,
okay, thanks. No, I'm derailed.
No
Oh, I
problem.
did a poll on my Instagram,
No.
and it was like I asked, does Muskoka deserve to be treated this way? And it was like 40% yes. So I was like, okay.
I forgot about the whole Falfer accent thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel so bad for Muskoka anymore. That said, though, Hillary asked Joel a question last week, and it was like, of your interactions, how much of that is Falfer Muskoka, and how much of that is actually Dave and Joel? Like,
yeah.
Like how much does it factor? What's the cut? What's the breakdown?
Yeah. So I think that we've said it before that everybody tucks a bit of themselves into their characters. And Brandon did a great session for people that missed it on writing your backstory, where he talked about the benefits of including like your own kind of stories and your own experiences into your character. So where you kind of get Joel and I clashing through our characters is now like we can both be pretty sharp with each other, but now he's being sharp with me and I'm playing the victim. and it's really like I'm gonna make people not like you by taking the pain personally. So it's like we're both like really playing ourselves through our characters, and we're good buddies. Like there's nothing personal. Nothing goes like we got together around the fire last week and like had some drinks and wings and had like we're just buds. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to kind of put elements of that into our characters.
Yeah.
So speaking of the kind of hard time that Muskoka has been having, after his moment of realizing that he felt very used by the party, very alone among the group, he actually has kind of doubled down on helping the party. He always makes sure nobody's alone. He's been throwing out blesses, heals left and right. Why did he respond like this?
Yeah, so actually, I think Jay, it was you and I had a conversation, a short conversation about this, where no matter how isolated he kind of feels or isn't treated right, he was still taught to treat others properly. And through like in his backstory, he kind of left home, not when he started adventuring, but he left home when he was younger because of how much he was just getting picked on by people. And then he joined a tribe that kind of taught him how to love and forgive and move past that. So it's kind of like a forced, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay with these people. And even if I don't really connect or get along with all of them, Falfer, we still have a common enemy right now and a common goal. And we can still work towards that goal, even if we are not super close. I think that there's a lot of, I think we will kind of connect again, but yeah, that's kind of why he's still willing to help. But he's also staying back, right? He is not getting in the fray anymore. It's like, you know what, you guys go ahead and put yourself at danger, and I'll be back here and I'll help from here until Ezmerelda got taken down.
Oh man, that
it's mosquito.
I thought so. I was like, I don't know if you're fighting with yourself or the bugs.
Yeah, what was it?
Just threw a little
like,
fit.
Where Godfrey was standing over Nora's or Ezmerelda's body and was like, I am not letting you pass. I got goosies. That was really, really cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so. Oh, sorry.
I couldn't react to it though.
Oh. Do you want to add something, Dave?
No, it's good. Yeah, it's just I was gonna say, it was like this really solidified that he's not just kind of following us. He's like he wants the same thing that we want.
Yeah, he's bound by his oath, but he's gonna do what he can.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm gonna switch over to some questions from our beautiful audience. So it might jump around a little bit, but let's see. So this is a question from Bernardo Paraiso, and I don't know if I can say the rest of this. It's a beautiful name. So RealmCon, when it's possible, could we have a LARP day with all of our characters?
That's a lot of fun, actually. That's a good idea.
Hey.
We totally should.
Yeah.
I hope RealmCon can happen. And it'll be really, really great.
We should do LARPing half Tides of Wildmount, half Into the Mist. So it'll be...
like our
and
intros?
do like the endless love,
yeah.
sing to each other thing.
Oh, that would be awesome.
The Muskoka Liao.
Muskoka Liao. Oh, that's good.
Dimitri.
Ezmerelda?
Ezmerelda.
There we go.
That's good.
Chris Sanders wants to know if there will be Muskoka hats available as merch.
Oh man,
You look so
yeah, I mean,
cozy.
those hats are pretty common up in Canada. Anyways, they're like they're kind of a historic thing here.
I
these
had a
trapper
pink
hats.
one once.
We don't have a lot of
Nice.
pink ones up here, but we stopped at this trading post on the way up to like a retreat that we did. In kind of
When we bought the pajamas, everybody's seen the pajamas.
Yeah.
Oh, I made
those.
sure everybody saw those.
Yeah, but that hat is like a real beaver fur. It is super warm and super expensive. I don't know. Should we get? I don't know. We can get hats.
What would the slogan on
They're
it
not
say?
hard to find. They're not hard to find though. So
We should source them, Dave. That'd be fun.
yeah, okay, fine. Yes.
It should be like, do we have a cleric?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never fear a cleric here. On one of those hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe some prosthetic beaver teeth.
Like turn undead and then on the back say nope.
Thanks, Jay.
Got a
Yeah, so maybe.
that would be awesome. I would buy that.
I will say I did start looking into getting some custom knitted or like crocheted bacalhaos made, and I just kind of stopped doing it. But they were going to be adorable. I'll probably look into that again because I think they'd be pretty awesome to have.
We need to have a conversation, David,
Mhm.
Yeah.
after this. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. After this, like an aftermath.
Yeah. There's something in my eye.
Mosquito.
So in your eye? The mosquito?
This has turned into like what it's like before we go live on a stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I am
Sorry,
okay
everyone.
with that. As long as everybody's having fun, that's the point. We got a comment from Plaid Introvert saying, loving this new format for Thursday night stream. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you.
Plaid
sorry.
introvert.
Plaid Introvert.
Plaid introvert.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Isn't
Like
it
your number one
great?
fan.
Yeah, no kidding. That's awesome.
Going to Dragonheart 580 says, Jason, this is a sign of a good DM if you can facilitate an RP moment like that. And they're talking about the conversation between Muskoka and Godfrey.
Ah,
We talked about that for like a quarter of the episode last
yeah. So I had nothing to do with it. I just put two people in a room and magic happened. No, honestly, in fact, in that moment, I had talked to, did he talk about it last Aftermath? But Omega was saying that, realizing in that moment that he heard Muskoka say, "I've died," it was his decision. I didn't give him any background on the characters at all. So he recognized that and then ran with it. And that's just the depth of Muskoka's ability to role play. Spoiler warning, everybody knows Aftermath is a bit spoilerific. From last episode, even when Omega decided he didn't like Madame Eva or didn't trust her, that was completely unplanned. That was just him choosing in the moment to go on the information that he had for her. So yeah, that's just the mark of great role players.
So question for all the players from Reyhas, aka Nobody in the Discord. Are you guys glad that the Discord's back on your side again?
Yes.
We're not hunting you.
Man, we went from my first season of Into the Mist, the second one for RealmSmith, where I felt like this campaign's hopeless. Like there's no hope. Like we lose everywhere. And then we step into the nice, comfy, happy world of Tides, and it's like, oh, by the way, everybody hates you here too.
Yeah.
You can't win.
Oh, that was my fault. I did facilitate that. That was me.
We caused a little bit of trouble ourselves too.
Yeah,
we did kill everybody from everywhere until they all hated us. So.
Yeah.
While I did have a WTF moment when I found out that they were like against us in Tides. It was never hard feelings at all. In fact, I always welcome those kind of scenarios because I think it's personally, I don't know why, but I always think it's very funny. But I am very happy to have everybody back like on our side. Very happy.
Despite having killed one of them in Tides.
Multiple, not just one.
And I mean that's I feel like they went into that. That's what
knowing.
You gotta. That's the thing you gotta deal with. That's the decision you made.
I thought Plunk was gone.
I almost died. We all almost died.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have held it personal, but that's what happens.
What would have happened to Plunk as a shifter if he died? Or what is he?
So he did.
So
yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Inside baseball. Again, they know this is a spoiler-fic show. We know that.
Yeah.
And we should actually say that off the top. Hillary, I forgot to say that, but we should probably mention that.
Sorry.
We've said too much.
We've said too much. But actually, he would have shifted back to his original form. And he did on the ship, but I didn't tell anybody in the Discord until after the reveal because I didn't want it to leak out back to the ship because nobody from the party saw it and nobody from the Wave Chaser saw it. So I wanted to make sure it stayed as a big reveal and then told them after you guys did see him change back. So it was a bit of a retroactive after post update.
Yeah. Having played a changeling before personally, like Noura recognized it, but character-wise was not a thing.
It's great. It's great.
So I hope it's not too late to ask this question because we have a question from Reyhas that was asked on the 18th, but they are running Death House for GaryCon this week. Do you have any suggestions?
Ooh, running Death House. Use our Sirenscape sound set.
Definitely.
That's a good suggestion. Yeah, for Death House, it can get really. I mean, we drew it out long. Like we made it longer probably than I should have. And there's a lot there. I wish I had just. I wish I had cut and paste a little bit more and kind of sped the party through a little bit. But don't be afraid to take some liberties with it. And I would also suggest watching Lunch Break Heroes video on how to adjust Death House as well. He's got some great ideas on how to do that. He's on Patreon and on YouTube, so check that out. That would be my suggestion.
Lunch Break Heroes, if I'm correct, is where you've kind of gotten some of your ideas for like fun weeks and stuff. Yeah, really great resource.
Yeah. Another bit of advice for Death House is avoid the dumbwaiter.
Yes.
Oh, that was so good.
So good. It was a great moment.
It
Oral's
happened.
still out there somewhere.
It happened so fast. I had to rewind like 2 or 3 times and be like, wait, what did I just miss? How is he dead all of a sudden?
That was great. I don't know if I can say this. I'm gonna say it, but we were only planning for Oral to be around for that one session.
Yeah, I told people that. Yeah.
And we're getting down to like 5 minutes left of the stream. I'm like, I'm just gonna play this thing. I don't know what he's gonna do. So my plan was that I was gonna look into the dumbwaiter to see if I could go downstairs and just try to fight the thing by myself, because that would kill me. But Jay's like, you hear the snapping sound as you look up. Like, oh man, it's so good.
It wasn't until the very last second that it happened that I had no idea. I was like, there's 5 minutes left. I have to find a way to kill him. You didn't get as far as I thought you guys would get in the house. I had all these other things set up to kill him. And I was like, how am I going to do this? He was totally set up as a red shirt. That's a total admittance on my side. He was going to die. That was the point. But literally until that moment, I was like, the dumbwaiter, perfect. And then I just said it. But man, it was that was a game time decision.
Yeah. I guess on another episode, maybe we should talk about what happened when that Revenant met Falfer, because that might also be another reason why, I don't know, maybe deep down Joel's trying to get back at me.
Getting revenge for the Revenant.
Tell you, when Oral comes back and ends up fighting Muskoka, how meta is that?
Oh.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
We've got a comment from Roman Wolf 007. Little by little, you fight off the darkness, making Barovians wake up and soon put Strahd on the back foot. A little bit of encouragement from the lovely audience. Alrighty. General question for Noura from Jordan Hitch. How do you prepare and get into the character of Ezmerelda? Because man, you hook us in. We're all crying with you every time.
I just love her backstory so much, and I love how much of a badass she is, but like is still puts up walls, but is very sensitive. Like I kind of feel that, and so I don't know. Like I don't know how much I like actually prepare. I don't really do it so much as like I just feel like I'm her when I sit in the chair, like ready to play. I just love that she is so tough, but like I like to kind of balance it out with having funny moments, but you know, it's Barovia, so everybody's hurt personally in some way, and I'd like that to come out in some time, like in moments that are appropriate. She definitely has personal ties to people that we have yet to like see it come out, and I think we've seen it come out with a couple of characters, but I just love her because she's complex. Like and the more complex a character is for me, like the more real they seem. If somebody's just really like cut and dry, black and white, I can't, like it can only go so far, but I really think that she's very rounded out as a character. And so for that, it's very easy for me to just sit in a chair and like remember what accent I'm doing for the day and then get into it. Yeah.
I have a question for you, Noura, because we were talking about when you play your own character, so you kind of put yourself into the character.
Definitely. Yeah.
How much of yourself do you insert into Ezmerelda as a character?
I mean, I think there's a part of me in every character I play for sure. Let me see. I never sat there and thought about it and put it into words, but I think the part of me that's Ezmerelda, the Ezmerelda that I play, is being very tough, like a tough exterior and putting up walls, but only letting people in after a certain time, and wanting to be the strong person, but having also suffered her own story. is definitely a true thing for me. Yeah.
Huh.
But then I crack jokes to like ease the tension. That is also very much a me thing. So that ow, my gullet is like was definitely like a Noura moment.
The Noura moment
that I put in. Yeah.
Oh, that had me rolling. I had to clip that as fast as I could. Alrighty. Let's see here. Okay, this is something I've been wondering about. Because you guys switch campaigns every 3 months, which is a cool, unique thing that RealmSmith does. Is it hard for you to kind of switch between the different mindsets of your characters? And like, how do you keep separate? Like, how do you remember which abilities go with which character?
For me, it starts with just looking at the portrait that Jason did up for each of us, and then just remembering, like, as soon as I see like Bolt's face, I see the goggles and everything, and I was like, okay, yeah, he's gonna want to try to invent something to solve this. As soon as I see Dimitri, I think, okay, yeah, he's gonna want to swing at something to solve it. Yeah, and then D&D Beyond pages, you just kind of, I'm always going back, and even in the middle of games, I'll think, wait, no, that's a Bolt move, I can't do that, and I'll just have to reread. Okay, I have to do that. Yeah. So yeah, just constantly reminding myself, even in game, like, what am I able to do again? Like, what do I have now? Also, I have Aura of Protection now, which is very useful. That I think is going to be a thing that I'm going to have to remind people about.
Yeah.
Because it seems like one of those things that it's like, oh, no, you can add +3 to that.
Yeah,
too.
do that. Yeah. Yeah, definitely remind people.
Yeah.
I've got like 20. Oh, go ahead. No.
No, ladies first.
I was just saying, like, I've got 22 characters on D&D Beyond that I use pretty consistently. And it's in interviews, it's definitely a question that comes up the most, is that how do you differentiate between the characters that you play? And I kind of have an idea, like that it's just, you get to a point where you have to compartmentalize with, you start with the personality, and I have to look at the character sheet and be like, to remind myself like of the abilities, but I have to sit down and just think of the personality trait, and then I'm back into it, especially if there's a voice attached to it, but there's always like, I've played characters where each one has like a very separate sense of humor, and like one joke that I would tell with one character is never a thing that I would tell with another one. So I think that's just something that happens with time, but looking at the sheet definitely helps. And then there's something that like encapsulates, whether it's like a phrase or a feeling or a comment that just echoes in your head with that one character of like, oh, this is essentially who that character is. And like, I could sit down in a chair and be like, this is what I'm doing at the moment.
Like how Christina said she would sit down and go, let's go on an adventure. And then she would be in her.
Yeah, sometimes it's a joke, sometimes it's a phrase, it's a feeling, it's something, but there's always this one thing that sparks that character in you, even if it's jabbing at another character, like in a certain way, David, maybe. but there's something that sparks that idea of that character in you, and that's what I go with to just sit in that character for the day.
Yeah, for me, I guess we have about 2 weeks between the seasons. So the week after, I try to not think D&D at all. Like I just got to get that out of my head. And then the week before, I'll spend a lot of time talking in my car by myself as the character. Just practicing phrases that he says a lot. Yeah, and just like imagining scenarios and interacting with nobody. Probably sounds nuts, but yeah, just having this conversation out loud, this one-sided conversation, thinking like the character, which until back I never used any sort of voice, and I was really hesitant to, because I was worried I couldn't RP the character the way that the character is and do a voice. I was worried it was going to take too much energy, and it would distract from who the character was. But as it turns out, with some practice, and I'm doing pretty light voices, but with some practices, I was able to do it. So in the week before, I'll do that, have conversations by myself. I'll go back to kind of the founding emotional moment that Brandon actually talked about in his seminar, which is like, what was that instance of the character's life that kind of made them who they are. And then for those two characters that I have, they actually are a little bit similar in their stories, where they started off kind of like innocent and they become a little bit jaded, and they're kind of progressing, and I have to be very careful to not mix up those character developments. That's important for me to kind of internalize like Muskoka's loneliness. It's not he's not naive, he's hurt and he's lonely, whereas Bacalhau is more naive, and a little psychotic. He's seen so much dark and he thinks it's normal, and is totally unfazed by it because he's seen so much. So I think by having that 1 week of like just forget about everything helps me to break that. And also watching the last episode of the previous season just to remember, where do we leave off. So that's what I go through.
I definitely talk to myself in my car in my character voices sometimes. Like I came up with
thank
one
goodness.
where I was like, yeah, boys, I don't mean to be the one to pee in your bathwater here, but I think that's a bad idea. And I was like, that's my character. I'm gonna go with that. Like, she is my Midwest mom D&D character. Yeah,
That's great.
Janine O'Connor. That is my.
It's so great. Let's see here. Got a question from Barf Battlebrain for Dimitri or Adam. Is Dimitri's voice an homage to Sideshow Bob?
Oh.
I never thought of that.
I neither did either.
I never thought of that either. I guess
Can
it
you
could
just
be.
go? Can you just go "Meh" for me real quick?
What is he? What is that? So Rob say?
Can you just say hello Bart for me? Hello Bart. Can you just
Hello
do a little?
Bart. My voice cracked a little. I know it's Frasier, Kelsey Grammer, right?
Right.
Who does the voice of Sideshow Bob?
Which is funny because people say that Bolt sounds like Frasier, right?
I never put that.
Somebody said, oh, I see it all the time in the comments.
Yeah.
I guess Dimitri would be more. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, somebody's made that comment before about Frasier.
Yeah. Well,
And
the
it's
voice for Dimitri. I watched every episode of Downton Abbey, and so I kind of got that upper class British in my head.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of whenever I would do a voice in the car, that's where I would go to.
Perfect.
And so yeah, do you know the butler from Downton Abbey, Carson?
Yes.
Oh, Lord, his lordship will be home soon. You know,
It's good. It's so good, dude.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So that's kind of where I think I draw it from.
Love it.
I do a lot of voices on my own, but I really struggle doing an accent when other people are doing accents. I don't know why. When I'm on my own, I can do anything. I can mimic the accent that a person's making, but when I start mixing them, it gets so hard for me. I end up shifting. So it's very hard for me to keep Bacalhau subtle and not turn into Bolt. It's hard because Bolt is like, I mean, he's on the same trajectory. He's just stronger.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Well, it all depends on the trajectory of your own harpoon launcher, remember?
Okay, so who is Bolt's voice based on then? There's something
It's
so familiar about it.
yeah, I just kind of raise the pitch a little, and I give him a little bit more nerves, and then all of a sudden, and actually, he's a bit more upper class than.
People have said Stewie.
Oh
A
yeah.
little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I can see
Oh.
that.
Yeah, just a little bit higher
Like
and
Stewie
raspier.
as an adult.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Or
Maybe.
I was thinking of kind of like a squeakier Mr. Burns.
No.
Could just be me.
It's
I'm just gonna
too
mute myself.
menacing, too evil.
Yeah, it's like
there's more of a kindness too.
yeah. If like you had separated the evil out of that guy,
Yeah.
then this is what you'd be
Like
left
if he and Smithers had a baby.
Maybe. Wow, we're
Wow,
going real
okay.
deep.
Yeah, back. In
Wow,
other
we
news,
have
Hillary.
answered the heck out of this question.
Yes.
All right, I think we have time for one more question. It's always so hard to choose the last question because there's so many good questions. Our audience comes up with so many good things. This will be a fun one. Nat Machinsky wants to know if we can can we use mending on his face merch?
Oh no. Yeah, we got a lot of comments about that one. A lot of positive comments. Like a lot of it was good. Yeah.
What was the context of that again? I remember whose face was it?
I think it was Ezmerelda was going to prestidigitate his clothes.
Oh, I was just gonna make his armor a little shiny.
Yeah, because
make
we're
him
going to go back to
presentable.
camp. And I asked if we could use mend on his face. You should hear the things we don't say.
We could do a whole show with our pre-show
We probably couldn't.
sound checks.
Probably couldn't.
So good.
I rather like it when you guys did the thing where you were singing along to the theme song.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
The time. There's Christina's character, but like we would just like sing to each other.
There goes Plunk Rock. We know your secret.
And it would just be all of us doing that.
Yeah. And that's why you guys are so much fun to watch, because like people come for the D&D, but they stay for the shenanigans and how you guys clearly just enjoy hanging out together.
Yeah, I think we like hanging out with each other.
Except for David.
Yeah.
Super good.
No, David likes hanging out with you. Muskoka doesn't.
Gotcha.
And it's really that contrast between the inner and outer monologue that makes things so interesting.
Yes.
Yes.
All
So
right.
good.
If you guys could join before the show, I don't know. We should just record it one day. It's just us being us.
Let's Patreon it.
Yeah, we should. We should record them and then Patreon it.
Yeah.
Somebody record the Zoom call and then we throw it up on Patreon. 100%.
Let's do it.
It's totally what we're gonna do.
You can listen to Julian fighting back all the internet gremlins.
Yeah.
I don't know,
So
Jay.
good.
It was working earlier.
We had a nickel.
So good. So good.
All righty. Well, I hate to end this because this is so much fun, but I think that is all the time we have for tonight. So just a huge thanks to everybody that came, all of you guys for being here on the show with me tonight, all of our viewers. We literally could not do this without you. So thank you so much for coming and showing up and hanging out with us, spending your evenings with us. Big thanks to Julian for fighting off all the internet gremlins and doing all the technical magical things that make this happen.
Real quick too,
course,
I just want to I don't know if you were going to throw to Noura, but I'm going to throw to Noura to talk about what you're on this week. You have a stream coming up.
Yes. Okay.
And
yeah.
then
I'll plug.
We got
some
you on a
stuff.
Thursday because now from Thursdays you can't be on anymore. Tell us why.
Thursdays I can't be on anymore because starting April 1st, which is not an April Fool's Day joke, it's a real thing. Our official D&D show, Black Dice Society, set in all the domains of dread, is going to be, I don't remember the exact times. This is very bad. It's between Idle Champions and Critical Role. It's in that mid time slot. But it's a great cast. We have all the info on my socials if you follow me on Neurological or any of the other cast members or D&D. And we're doing our pre-season prequel 0.5 show at GaryCon on Saturday. So you'll be able to see, get a sneak peek at all the characters and who we are and what we're doing for that stream. So yeah, follow us on socials and we'll have all that for you.
And Cyberpunk tomorrow.
And Cyberpunk.
I'll
I'm
see
so
you
glad the
then.
band's getting back. I'm so excited.
Band's back together. It's gonna be fun.
Yes. Who else
Over to you,
has
Hillary.
stuff to plug?
Sorry, I froze. I was waiting for a good like 20 seconds for that to unfreeze. I should not have mentioned the internet gremlins. I have summoned them.
No, yeah.
So I missed a little bit. I don't know exactly what happened, but lots of amazing things. And I was going to give anybody else an opportunity to mention anything else they wanted, any projects they're working on, they're excited about.
Oh, what I can say actually is that Joel has launched a Patreon for himself for tabletop RPG music.
Nice.
Oh.
And for free, you can get, it's called Revenant Sound, I believe. And for free, you can get all of our Curse of Strahd music.
Because he's doing all the new stuff, right?
Yeah. So the theme
For
that you
our
hear right now, the intro, like all that stuff you can get for free over there. So just check that out. Hopefully there's a link. I'm springing this on the Smithgardian, so hopefully maybe they can find it quick and post it, or if Joel's in, he can post it. But anyways, check that out. It's really cool. And he's got lots more fun stuff coming too.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, thanks again to everyone. Oh, I guess I should say a final thank you to our sponsor, Forged Gaming, for all of their delightful tabletop products that are amazing, including the dice tower we're going to give away.
Yes, we are.
Before I end the show.
Yeah, we probably should. All right. Let me just take a look here. I'm sure, or you can probably announce it because they'll probably post it for you.
Oh, I didn't have time to ask my last question for you, Jason.
It's all good. No worries. Glenn Lockwood is the winner.
Congrats, Glenn.
Congratulations, Glenn. You are the winner of a Citadel Dice Tower from Forged Gaming. Smithgardians will be in contact with you to get all of your info to send that through. Congratulations.
Yay. Long time here. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Noura, I'm really glad that we got to have you on before you start your new project. That's really exciting.
I was glad I could. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Glad I could make it.
Yay. All right. Well, that calls it, or that's the end of the show. Thanks for coming, everybody. I can make words happen. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you guys on Monday. Ooh, or tomorrow night for the Cyberpunk show.
Bye.
Bye.